Hey everyone, I'm going to be showing you how to do a pose called Revolved Downward Facing Dog. It is a full body stretch. Now, one of the reasons why I do these videos on yoga poses is because I want yoga to be accessible to everyone. So if you've always wanted to try yoga but are turned off by going to a class, or if you've always felt really inflexible and don't feel very coordinated, you've come to the right place. I'm going to show 4 different variations of this pose so you can pick the one that's right for you and still get the benefit. Now, we are going to be taking our head below our waist and doing a little bit of a twist in this pose. So, contraindications are if you have high blood pressure that is not being managed, or if you have any kind of back issues or shoulder issues or injuries going on, please do not do this pose until you are healed. All right. Props you may need is if you have a metal folding chair, get that out. If you don't worry about it. A countertop or a desk or the side of a sofa or anything about that height that's sturdy will work. Also, you may want to have 2 blocks, and of course, get a yoga mat out if you have one. And if you need links to blocks or mats, please see the description below the video. Before I get into describing the alignment of this pose, I just want to briefly list the benefits. You're going to be stretching, like I said, the whole body. You might feel this particularly in the hamstrings, the calves, shoulders and chest, the shoulder blade area, and also a little bit of the side of the body and lower back. So kind of a little bit of everything, like I said. What I'm going to be doing is showing you using the chair and then the blocks and then with hands on the floor. I liken this sort of to if you were learning how to do a push-up and building up the strength to do a push-up on the floor, you might start by doing a countertop push-up. And then gradually you take your hands to a surface that's a little bit lower, say a bench in the weight room. And then you take your hands to something a little bit lower, and then eventually to the floor. That's the same kind of progression that I'm going to be showing you today. So what I encourage you to do is to try a variation. Start with the easiest, and then if you don't feel much of a stretch, take the next one down. And if you don't feel it there, then take the next one down, and so on. I'll show you the pose 4 variations on each side of the body, and you can pick on your own which one gives you a good stretch while keeping you in the correct alignment. So let's get started. Okay, variation number 1. I have my metal folding chair here with the back of the chair facing me. I'm going to take my hands to the edges of the chair as wide as the chair will allow, and I'm going to kind of fold myself in an L shape, sort of like an upside down L. So I have my feet right underneath my hips. My legs are as straight if possible. If you have any tightness, you may have a little bend in the knees, and that's okay. Hands are here. I want to relax the shoulders and the elbows down. So try not to do a bulldog stance, but keep your elbows down, shoulders rolled out. Lots of space right here. And then I just allow my head to drop in between my arms and maybe lower if it can go. I have a bend in my knees right now. I'm going to start to straighten my legs. Okay, now the twist part. I'm going to take my right arm across to the left hand and then turn my gaze and my torso to the left. And then I'm going to hold here for several seconds, 10, 15, maybe longer. And then I'll come up. I'm just showing you briefly for now, but if you're doing this at home, hold that for a little while so you get the benefit. Now I'm going to take my left hand, take it across to the outside of the ankle, and make sure that you don't rest the hand there, but actually give a little bit of effort into your twist. So I'm pulling a little bit, bending that left elbow, and looking underneath the other side here. Good so far? Let's go to number 2. Okay, so now I have the chair turned around the other way, and I'm going to be using the seat of the chair. So it takes my hands 1 level lower. So hands to the edges here. Find that same basic shape that you did in the last pose. Again, make sure to relax your shoulders. So often we're in this bulldog stance. Try to be more Great Dane, as I always say. Okay, so I'm folding here, and this is in my modified downward facing dog. I take one hand, and I'll start with my right, across to the left. I'm getting a little bit more stretch here, and now I turn on the twist. Turn and look, As you can see, now I have a deeper bend in this elbow. That's a good thing. Okay, I'm pulling my hips back a little bit because as I'm twisting, I'm noticing how I'm compensating by turning my hips. So that's something you want to watch out for. Let's see how the other side goes. Ooh, see there, I started to stick one hip out to the side. Try not to do that. You'll notice the difference in where you're putting the weight in each foot, and that can alert you. Because if that is off, then your hips are off. Okay, this is number 2. You're going to hold that, come back up. And now I'll show you number 3. Okay, variation number 3. I have my blocks almost to the edges of my mat. I'm going to be placing my hands on these and go into my downward dog and then do the twist. So as my hands get closer and closer to the ground, I'm getting a deeper and deeper stretch. That's great. So here we go. I'm going to find my downward facing dog. I have a slight bend in my knees right now. I think I can go ahead and straighten them. I'm pretty warmed up. And now I'm going to take my right hand across, as you've already seen. But now, being that I have much more weight, or because I'm closer to the ground, I'm going to have a lot more weight on this left hand. So if you're not used to this, it can be a little bit hard on the wrist. So please take that into account and modify with the other 2 I just showed you if you need. Okay, so here I am in my downward dog. And then I take the hand across to the ankle. As you can see, I have to fold more deeply. This brings a deeper stretch into my hamstrings. Again, I'm kind of correcting my hips a little bit and keeping this shoulder relaxed. Let me show you that on the other side. Okay, here's my twist. And try not to do that with this elbow. Try to keep it straight and internally rotated, which means elbow pointing more or less towards the floor. Ooh, okay. I'm going to come on out from that and show you the last one. Okay, finally, the last variation of this revolved downward facing dog. Let's hop up into our downward dog, fingers spread wide, hands about shoulder width apart. Here's my downward dog. I'm going to take the right hand first. Ooh, all the way across and hold. There. And then other side. Make sure you have good grip. You're going to need you're putting a lot of pressure into that supporting hand and arm. Oops. Make sure not to shift your hips over. Wow. That is very, very thorough. And hold that for a little bit and then come on out. Okay, what did you think? I hope that invigorated you, maybe got your heart rate up a little bit. It did mine. And most importantly, I hope that it felt like a really, really good stretch and that you feel more limber and more mobile now. There is a lot going on in this pose and I'm trying to be really, really concise in this short little video. So if you have any questions, please leave them for me below. Sometimes all it takes is a slight suggestion or a small adjustment for us to get the benefit of a pose. And I hope that those 4 levels or modifications of the pose help you to find the right level for you, okay? Awesome, thank you so much for joining me. I so appreciate it and love meeting with you. And again, questions, comments, leave them for me below the video and I'll catch you soon. Thank you, everyone.